Watch out, everyone! This is your warning. Uncle KC is giving you plenty of time to prepare because Angel Reese is about to explode!
Welcome if you're new. Angel Reese, man, she ended up stepping into this presser right here and just going off on this ref. And I have to agree, man, if the ref really said this to her,
I think we fought really hard. It's tough when you talk to officials and I asked them, hey, we only shot 2 free throws. We've only been to the free throw line twice up into the fourth quarter, and she tells me it's not her job.
So Angel Reese comes out and she decides to, in her press conference after the game that they lost the other day, to talk about the officials and how they're not calling the fouls. And she was complaining about how, to the official, how she, is not going to the free throw line. There's not been enough of them going to the free throw line because they're not
game. But Angel Reese did make history again, and we're gonna talk about this real quick because Angel Reese been kind of quiet in her department. You know what I'm saying? There ain't really been a whole lot of noise. At least people really haven't been paying attention to it. That is until today. Well, yesterday, Angel Reese, said what she said.
Frustrating because I know how hard we're battling inside. And I think that we came down and fought as hard as we could with what we had. And I just know we continue to grow in this. And I think it's a leaping step for us. And obviously we know we can compete with the best, but that has to be fixed. And I don't give a damn if I get fined because that's cheap. And I am tired of this because I've been nice and I've been humble with it, but I am tired.
So she really doesn't give a damn if she gets fined for this. So, which I mean, I don't have a problem with her saying this. Y'all know that if you watch my channel, you know that I have been critical of Angel Reese and her play, but I actually believe in what she's saying here. At the same time, she also has to understand that people that watch these games also see her foul the shit out of people and don't get caught.
Watch out, everyone. This is your warning. Uncle Casey is giving you plenty of time to prepare because Angel Reese is about to explode. Here we go again. Angel Reese is out here throwing a full-blown primetime tantrum about her first truly bad refereeing decision from the WNBA. And suddenly, everyone is supposed to act like this is some groundbreaking, unprecedented moment of grave injustice. But does she, for 1 second, realize that Caitlin Clark has been getting injured, battered, and bruised literally because of these same incompetent refs? The WNBA can't get its decisions right, and Caitlin Clark has been paying the painful price all season long. All while Angel Reese sat in convenient, comfortable, and conspicuous silence. Welcome, if you're new, to the WNBA's Theater of Hypocrisy.
Throughout her first 2 years in the WNBA, Angel Reese has been the same way. On paper, the double-double diva looks great, but just like Derek Carr, Angel Reese does not impact
winning.
Since the Bayou Barbie became the Chi-Town Barbie, the Chicago Bravado are 18-39. They have been one of the worst teams in a league that is filled with bad teams. And oftentimes, Angel Reese will blame everyone but herself for her huge embarrassment.
Angel Reese, man, she stepped into her post-game press conference after a loss to the Minnesota Lynx and just went completely off on a referee. And I have to agree. If the ref really said what she claims, it's a problem. It's tough when you talk to officials, and I ask them, hey, we only shot 2 free throws, up until the fourth quarter. And she tells me, it's not her job. Reese lamented, her frustration palpable. She continued with a dramatic flair worthy of an Oscar. And I don't give a damn if I get fined because that is cheap, and I'm tired of this. Because I've been nice, and I've been humble with it, but I am tired of this.
it's a problem. It's a problem, man. The ref calls are terrible, all right? And also, I know that they're human. Y'all hear me say that every time. But they have to do something to alleviate how bad the calls are, man. It's not fair most of the time across the board. And we know the players that have the special whistle. Now, we saw it for sure in that Aces game. Oh, my goodness, man. It was ridiculous, man. But anyway, man, I feel Angel Reese's pain on that one. She did have some plays where I was like, she probably could have got a foul in that one. I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, it just didn't go there.
Oh, you've been nice and humble? Angel? Really? Where was all this righteous energy, this passionate concern for officiating integrity, when Caitlin Clark was getting absolutely destroyed by reckless, dangerous fouls all season long? The hypocrisy here is absolutely breathtakingly staggering. Reese posted on social media, calling the officiating in her game diabolical and demanding the WNBA do better. But when Caitlin Clark was taking cheap shots left and right, when she was being systematically targeted by players clearly looking to make a physical statement, Angel Reese was absolutely nowhere to be found. The silence was deafening, and it spoke volumes about where her priorities truly lie. Yet, one questionable foul call against her, and she's suddenly ready to burn down the entire officiating department. The double standard is mind-blowing.
Numbers. Now, her fans is also voicing frustration about the way Angel Reese is actually being treated and handled on the basketball court, bro. They're not liking these type of plays. It's embarrassing by the WNBA. We're not going to tolerate the harassment and the attack. They're basically saying it's an attack on Angel Reese, but they're just really boxing her out, trying to get the rebounds because they know she's going to do everything in her business to try to get the damn rebound.
Let's talk about what actually happened in her game. In the Sky's 80-75 loss, her team attempted just 8 free throws compared to Minnesota's 17. Reese herself, despite taking 16 shots, almost all in the paint, only got to the free throw line twice. Is that frustrating? Sure. Is it the egregious, career-threatening level of abuse Caitlin Clark has endured this entire season? Not even close. Clark gets hammered on nearly every single drive, taking hits that would make NFL linebackers wince, and often watches referees swallow their whistles like it's a nervous habit. The officiating in the WNBA is a problem, man. It's terrible. And I know they're human, but they have to do something to alleviate how bad these calls are. It's not fair most of the time across the board.
One thing I kept seeing in this game, man, they were doing really well starting out. They came out strong, looking pretty decent, but they have so many moments where they're looking good, and then all of a sudden they have a long stretch of tough shot, ill-advised shot, bad shot selection. Like it gets bad.
The worst part of this whole spectacle is how something even more egregious happened in the Indiana Fever game, involving Sydney Coulson, and it was handled with a completely different energy. Coulson won a completely clean ball, a textbook steal, and got called for a foul instead. What did she do? She asked for a challenge, the call was overturned, and she moved on with her life. She didn't throw a social media tantrum. She didn't hold a dramatic press conference to cry about it. Yet, Angel Reese has one call that doesn't go her way, and she's ready to start a league-wide revolution. The problem is, when this kind of stuff happens to other players, they just have to get on with it. They don't get sympathy tours from the media or viral social media campaigns rallying to their defense. They certainly don't get the entire basketball world to stop and rally around them after a single, solitary bad call.
It went to the middle of the backboard and went to the left side. She grabbed the rebound, shot it back on the other side. Grabbed the rebound again and shot it back in the middle. She had 5 rebounds in a 30-second span and scored no points.
Nuts.
I don't want to hear nothing. When you go 4 for 16 and you taking point-blank range shots, you're not very good. You're not very good.
But when it's the golden child from Chicago, the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie, suddenly it's time for a national press conference and a meltdown of epic proportions. And let's not forget, while she's complaining about officiating, her team, the Chicago Sky, is 5-12. They are one of the worst teams in a league that is already filled with a lot of bad teams. Reese's shooting percentages have declined from her rookie year, her turnovers have nearly doubled, and her overall impact on winning has been minimal at best. But instead of looking in the mirror and focusing on her own game, it's apparently much easier to just blame the referees for a team that can't compete with elite squads like Minnesota.
Like the other day, I watched Sophie Cunningham go for a scramble on the ground and basically get almost in a rear naked choke, and no foul was called. I mean, so the officiating in the WNBA is trash. We all know it's trash, and if they want us as fans to take this league seriously, they have got to do something about the fouls. I mean, I have literally seen jump shots where nobody even touches the person and they get called for a foul. But I've also seen people go drive in a lane and get their head taken off and no fouls.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to break records and elevate her teammates, despite playing through injuries that were directly caused by the same officiating inconsistencies that Angel Reese is now so passionately complaining about. Clark became the fastest player to reach 350 assists in WNBA history. She's rewriting the record books while dealing with the kind of physical abuse that comes with being the league's most relentlessly targeted player. The difference in how these two young stars handle adversity is crystal clear. When Clark faces bad calls and physical abuse, she argues her case, gets back up, and keeps playing. When she gets injured because of poor officiating, she rehabs and she comes back stronger. When Angel Reese faces one questionable no call, she holds a press conference, launches a social media campaign, and acts like she's the first player in the history of the league to be wronged by a referee.
There was a play where everybody remembers when Kennedy Carter just shoved Caitlin Clark and she didn't even have the ball. There were flagrant fouls, hard fouls on Caitlin Clark, and everybody told her to get up, gain some weight, get some muscle, stop whining, stop crying, you in the big leagues now. Caitlin Clark's reaction to all of it was very professional. She got back up and she played. She got back up and she freaking played the game of basketball.
What makes this even more frustrating for fans is that Angel Reese has had countless opportunities all season to use her significant platform for positive change. She could have been a leader. She could have spoken up about player safety when Caitlin Clark was being systematically targeted. She could have advocated for better officiating when it was affecting multiple players across the entire league. Instead, she chose to stay silent, completely silent, until it personally, directly affected her. The timing of this newfound outrage is suspect at best, and deeply hypocritical at worst. After months of watching Caitlin Clark endure a level of abuse that would have ended careers in previous eras, after seeing the league's biggest star sidelined by injuries that could have easily been prevented with competent, fair officiating, Angel Reese decides that now, after one frustrating game for her, is the time to speak up about referee bias. It's convenient activism at its absolute worst.
Even though by the end of the game, the Lynx actually have more personal fouls than the Sky, Angel Reese still continue to go off on the internet. She ended by saying she don't care about the fine, the refs need to do better. With how bad we've seen the WNBA refs been this year, does Angel Reese have a point?
So, I know it's frustrating.
Where she's just complaining to make change.
And let's be clear about something. Sophie Cunningham's situation, where she was physically assaulted on the court, was actually far worse than what Angel Reese experienced, but she handled it like a true professional. She didn't need a therapy session disguised as a press conference to make her point. The contrast is telling. When other players face bad calls, they deal with it and keep playing. When Caitlin Clark faces systematic targeting and dangerous, dirty plays, she argues from the bench while injured and still manages to perform at an elite level when she's healthy enough to be on the court. But when Angel Reese faces one questionable no call, the entire basketball world needs to stop what it's doing and acknowledge her profound suffering. Look, nobody is defending bad officiating. The referees in the WNBA have been inconsistent at best all season long, and it's affected every team and every player. But the selective outrage from Angel Reese, especially after staying completely silent through months of vile abuse directed at Caitlin Clark, shows exactly where her priorities truly lie. This isn't about making the game better for everyone. This is about making sure Angel Reese gets her calls. The real issue here isn't just the officiating, though that certainly needs drastic improvement. The real issue is the culture of victimhood that allows certain players to cry foul only when it affects them personally. Angel Reese had the platform, she had the influence, she had the opportunity to be a real leader on officiating reform in the WNBA. Instead, she chose to be a bystander until it became personally inconvenient for her. That's not leadership, that's pure, unadulterated opportunism. And it's exactly the kind of self-centered behavior that undermines any legitimate, good faith efforts to improve the game for everyone involved. The referees need to be better. The league needs to protect its players. But Angel Reese's selective activism, after months of silence, speaks volumes about her true motivations.